You guys, welcome back to the stream, everyone. And in today's stream, we are going to be trying to fix a bug that we are facing. This new bug of ours is not something that was before, but I kind of wanted to implement a new a new feature for the player to be able to jump after he gets morphed. And jumping itself is not the problem, but since the player has a capsule collider and we are trying to match the collider or the body of the player with the prop that he's morphed into, and that is causing me some problems I have to figure out first, and then we'll try to fix it. It's gonna be a long session, I guess. So let's dive right into it, guys. Before that, let me just open up our stream so that I'll be able to see what you guys have to say about it. If you guys want to talk about it, you guys can we can talk in the chat, guys. So let's begin. The first thing that I want to do is open up Claude, and my limit resets around it, so I guess it must have been reset. Okay. What we can do is, uh, after we morph into a prop, our character controllers collider to be modifiable based on the shape of the prop that we can vector from prop. And the box collider also we want to make the size and everything using the prop. So here's the thing that we are going to implement. So we are going to change our character controllers collider to be modifiable based on the shape of the prop, which means if we are to morph into a smaller prop, then yeah, character controller to be resized to match the prop movement physics. Box order set as trigger building. Back to original capsule. Yes. Okay, we have this. So basically, the problem that we are facing right now is I was not able to figure this out before until now. Still, I'm not sure about it, but really think that this could be the reason we are not able to jump on top of the desired platforms that we want to jump onto. And the main problem for that could be our character controllers collider. Since we have our character controllers enabled, and even though we change our mesh or we just swap our mesh with the object mesh, we are still not able to get the desired the desired collision based on the shape that we have. We have also made a smaller shape that we can modify on the script, and that will automatically be applied to the player. That also has the box collider. That was kind of a solution that I thought of, but I didn't really think of the character controller's default collider, so we have to disable that. And instead of disabling that, we can just use that collider for the body, and then we can use the box collider that we already have for to detect the bullet. In this way we can get a smaller hitbox, we can get a bigger hitbox based on the size of the prop for the player, and also for the movement we can get a smaller collider that will detect the collisions for the movement. So I think that is gonna be a solid plan for us. So let's start working on that. Let me also play the music for you guys so that you can stay here a bit longer with me if you really want. And I don't want you guys to be bored if you decide to come here and see my stream. So let's play. Yo guys, can you guys hear me? So the first thing that we want is change our, let's open up our script and open up our prop morphable script. We have to use this refresh materials, but Claude has not given me this part. Let me copy this part of the script. Wait a second, before that, we copy the whole script and so for now let's change the whole script, and in our morph controller No, not the script. This is for prop morphable, which is this script. So we also have the character controller for this, so we do not need to change this. And update our Morph controller script. And then maybe I should also copy the script so that I can revert back to this script if anything goes wrong. We got that. And for the player collider setup, we need box collider to be as trigger to be as true. So we have to go to our prefabs into our players, and then inside of our hider. So basically we are making this feature for the hider. So inside of the player colliders, we have box collider. Inside of the collider we have our character controller, movement, everything from here. What the fuck is our collider? Why do I have... Is it still getting compiled? Okay, for our colliders, we have box collider, sphere collider, and capsule collider. If we see our capsule collider, maybe we don't need this because our character controller, I guess, has a default collider. How do I see? Yeah, it has a default collider on its own. And for the box collider and sphere collider, we want this to be as trigger. And we don't want to enable this right away. We will be enabling it after we morph into other props. And for the for prop setup in inspector, that we wanna, and for, let me just change, update the hunter suit, and inside of our head we want to change it with this. Okay, so this line hits trigger colliders. I didn't know that, but now we know. So now if we Let's go to our scene. And let's try on this object, since we now have clear gizmos so that we know properly with what we are working. So there are two different, maybe there are three different colliders if being precise. There's a box collider over here. This is just the gizmos, it's not the real collider. This is just for the reference so that we know the size of the collider, the place of the collider when we morph into another object, or the player in our case. So to be precise, let's this is the interact radius, this is the character controller preview, and this is trigger preview. Okay, this is for the box and this is for the sphere. We don't need the box, the sphere part for now. No, we need the sphere part, we don't need the box part. Let's see if anything changed. The gizmos should be changed a little bit. Okay, this is a single collider, but it does not look like a capsule collider. It looks like two sphere colliders on top of each other. So we have to fix for this height. We want to be this as 0.5, radius to be as low as this, and this, for the center we want it to be placed right here. So now it looks pretty fine for the collider, since this is gonna be our main movement collider. Let me also make it a little bit, no, not the scale, increase the radius and the height. And for the center we want, is it centered? How do I know if it's centered or not? Maybe from this view kind of know if it's centered. We can't change the y value. Okay, now it seems centered. No, still it's okay. Now it looks centered. And for the box, if okay, this is the box that we want it to be. Then what is this? Okay, the real collider, we need the real collider as well. This is for the object itself. Okay, maybe this size, maybe this size is good. And if we want to like make this object to be hit, if we ever try to hit the handle as well, so maybe we can increase the size of the collider from here so that the player gets the bigger collider. So this is gonna be our collider that is gonna get activated, which will let us get hit from the hunter. So we have to make this a little bit precise so that the hunter should be properly hitting this object. So we did change this object. So now if we hit build, so if everything goes alright and everything goes as per the plan or the way that I want it to be, then we should be able to get a proper collider for our player once he gets converted into the prop. Then let's see if we kind of manage to shrink the collider of the character controller, and if that works, then we should be able to jump on top of the shelf that I have created around here. Okay, the main problem came when I tried to jump on top of these, and the way these are made is they consist of these smaller colliders for the player to jump on top of. But when I tried to jump over this, so my guess is I think the player still had these collider and these collider striking together did not let us to climb on top of this area here and here. So that might have been the reason for that. So let's see if we manage to change anything right now. If we did, then that's gonna be a huge relief for me, because this is one of the important part of our game, and this mechanic should not be improper one, it should be a proper one. So let's start. Then we will try. And there's also another bug that when I sprint, the animation is not getting played. This is not a big deal, we can fix this later. So let's get drop into this. And the main thing that I want to check is if I go to my scene view and go to my game and select the player hider, now I can see the list of colliders, and this collider, okay, it has so many colliders, guys. So how do we figure out which collider is active and which is not active, and why is this collider so much longer? Maybe we open this up around here to see how everything is. So this is the real test. Still I don't know why this collider is this much bigger. Dude, what the fuck? Why am I getting this collider and this collider? And what? Okay, this could be the sphere collider that is not activated, and this should be the box collider, which is for the trigger. And why is it so much down? That we can fix this with the offset. That's not a big deal. But the real issue is why do we have our capsule collider, which must be the character controller's collider, and why is it so much bigger? Or maybe not bigger but longer. It is from here to here. We don't want this to be this much longer, so must disable CC before changing dimensions. Oh, so we have to disable it, and then we change the dimensions of it, and then we re-enable the character controllers. So we also have a debug for the height, radius, and center. Sabi? Sampo dulu mana? For the box center, I don't know why the box center was kind of messed up. What do we do, guys? I don't even know the problem for this. So let's try this one more time. Okay, so So Claude says that uh, Unity kind of forces the height to be at least twice the size of the radius. So if let's see if that was the reason for us or the player to be. So if I go into my game and let's go to the scene view, so we will be checking for this object, for this character, which is the player hider. So currently we have these set of colliders where two of these are not active and only the character controller's collider is active. So when we morph into this object, let's see what happens to our. We morphed, but the size did not change. Yeah, it did not change, right, guys? It should have changed, but it did not change. And that is why we are not able to jump on top of these. Guys, we are not able to change the size of the collider for the character controller. And on top of that, our box collider's position is also not changed, I guess, which should have been changed. And our box collider is also not active. Or maybe we should. You kill me. So that should have been a glitch with our another version or the player 2, which was from the build, and maybe the build version was not getting shown properly. So now we have this character controller. We want to see properly what happens when we morph into this. So when I morph, okay, since we got got our change is applied, but the height is it's getting resized on its own, and Claude told me that Unity forces the character controller's height to be double to the width of the character controller, so maybe we have to decrease the width of the character controller and see if that works. So let's try that, and if that does not work, then we have to find a different way for this. So for this, currently I guess, yeah, it kind of, the width to height ratio seems kind of odd, so let's radius and height, but it looks kind of greater than double, don't you guys think? Let's do radius to be as 0.4 and height to be as 0.8. Let's also move this up down here. For the scale, we are not applying any kind of scaling into this, so that should not be any issue for us, since we have no scale for here, around here as well. So let's hit build again. So let's go back to our setup. We want to select our player clone. Okay, this is the clone. Okay, so when we morph, what happens is, I don't know why, but it kind of grows bigger. It gets to its original size, guys. If you guys see it, then it kind of shrinks to its not shrink, but grows into its original size. Wait a second, I can see 3 colliders here. Maybe that's the sphere collider, I guess. The middle one, that should be the sphere collider. Yeah, it kind of grows into the size of the previous collider, which is something that we don't want. Dude, I got a limit again. What the fuck? Taking the character size once when you move. But in player movement, every network click you are using upgrade crouch height, and inside that, the fuck? So crouch is the thing that is. Okay, so crouch is the thing that's removed. Because we are not using crouch, so there's no sense in keeping crouch. Thankfully, I kind of shared this crouch script to this chat GPT, or else I would have never known the problem, and it would have taken me a whole day to figure out what the problem was. So for the crouch, we don't need any of this. So we also don't need this. Let's remove everything that has. We don't need this whole method. We also don't need this method. We also have to. We don't need this, and we don't. So crouch was the reason. Maybe crouch was the reason. Yeah, it does make sense. Yo, regular user, welcome to the stream, brother. So let's try this one last time, and hopefully this could work, because we kind of figured it out. So let's hit the host here and join here. So once I hit start, and when I go over here, so we want to see the proper working loop of this. So let's go to our player hider, select this guy, turn this guy around, and we wanna morph. Now if you guys see, we are seeing the character controller and it's lifting it up, maybe because it is grounded and this part is grounded, so it's getting lifted up upwards, but we can fix that. And if we are able to climb on top of this, then voila, this is the thing that we have wanted and we might have achieved it faster than expected. Okay, now we are able to climb on top of this, so the only thing left is fix the offset for this, and we are done with this. Yeah, we can't jump, so we have to make jump like this, jump like this, jump. Dude, but it's gonna be difficult for the player, don't you guys think? If we kind of get on top of this, then how are we supposed to see what the player is doing? We can only see it from a far POV and we won't be able to see it properly. Maybe we also need a camera fix for this, but those things can come later, not right now. These are not, and also we will not be, the player will not be able to, should not be able to use how are we gonna see what's going on when the camera is getting blocked by. Maybe we can also maybe we should also add enter FPP mode so that we can see from the first person's POV. I think that would be cool. Maybe place a camera on top of the jar, on top of the tip of the jar, so that we can see what's going on from the first person POV. So let's try to fix the offset, and then we will have to fix the offset for every single prop that we want to be morphable. Since it is at the center, we have to use the height. How do we calculate this? Calculate the height for this using the box collider, I guess. So the size of box collider is 0.59, so the center would be, yo, hello brother, welcome to the stream. Bye. What the fuck, bro? Wait, I didn't see your chat, bro. I was too busy fixing this bug. Yo, Braino Quiz, welcome to the stream, brother. Dude, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't know that you were here. Since I was too much focused on this and I was streaming from around an hour and we didn't see any viewers, so I never thought someone would come and talk with us. Yo, Braino Quiz, I really feel bad for you. I really feel bad for you, brother. Dude, Braino Quiz. Okay, so let's hop back into our game. So we were calculating the height. So if we see the size of the box is 0.59, if we divide it by 2, then it's 2.9, so it will be 2.95. 0.295 in the negative y-axis. So now if my calculations are correct, then we might be able to see the proper mesh being rendered correctly. So let's hit the play button. And if we hit start, let's see how the collider feels. Okay, so I'm morphing. So now I guess the collider is kind of working properly. If I maximize this, still the object is a little bit under the ground, so I have to fix that. Other than that, it is working correctly. First, still is way inside the ground. So let's see what happens if we try to morph for other objects, because we have not made any changes on the other objects. Still, the collider is not that bad, to be precise. We might still be able to like jump on top of this. Yeah, we are still able to jump, but since the height for this plant is way bigger, so we were not able to jump properly, but it kind of works. We also have to fix this camera thing. And one more thing that I wanted to check is not for this player, but let me morph back into this guy. I want to check the radius for the hitbox. Am I getting it? Okay, that was not a hit. That should be a hit. How the fuck is this moving? This guy moving. and the head system is not working, since maybe because we changed the collider from being a proper collider to being a trigger, so it must not, I guess it is not getting hit properly. So we also need to fix one more thing. Before that, let's just fix the collider setup for now, and we will move into other parts later. I still have to so the real height for this thing is, let me just increase the size and increase the center. If we see correctly, this, I guess this is the real height of this object, since the pivot point is at the center, so it is where's the height? How do I know the height? The box y is 0.1.07, so if we divide it by 2, 0.07 divided by 2, we get 0.535, so it should be what? We are still deeper into the ground now. Let's see what happens if we just keep it at 0. Why did we make it bigger? Let's keep this at 0. Yeah, 0 kind of works. We didn't need to change it. It is also getting pushed on top of the ground, which is a good thing. Now we should be able to jump on top of this properly. Yeah, it works. It works. And we also need to add colliders to this. And for this camera, I don't know how to fix this properly. After we get converted to this guy, we should be able to shift. And this camera thing, this will come later, not now, because this is not the main part of our stream today. And also we should I'll show you guys how I am shooting this player. What the fuck? If I shoot this guy once, twice, thrice, see, the trigger is not getting hit. Let's see if the trigger on our player is, the collider is active. It is active. So if I remove this as trigger, and now if I try to shoot, still it's passing through it. So maybe that was not the issue. Since the box collider is also here, and inside of a hunter suit, if we just use our previous code and check by removing the trigger for it, maybe maybe we don't really need it to be as trigger. We can just decrease the size of the collider, but I really wanted it to be as trigger. And if you guys noticed, we were also not getting the hit markers appear properly to the point where the hit is made. So we were basically getting it on the ground, which means it is only gonna get popped on if we hit the non-triggered. Let me cancel this first. If we hit the non-triggered collider, so hitting the triggered collider is not detecting, it's not getting detected by our hunter's bullet. There's one problem with that, and the other thing is it is also not getting detected by the particle system that is gonna appear after we hit the player, or if the bullet hits any colliders. So currently we have mesh collider for the ground, so that's how the mesh was getting the signs, but we were not able to get, so that also we need to fix that. What the fuck? Why is it taking so much longer? What the fuck, guys? Why is it taking so much longer just to cancel the build? Maybe I should just